till now had been unknown, more or less. You know, so it was a total rewriting of the past, is what occurred. But yeah, we're trying to recover the stream. Hopefully, that will take place here in just a moment or two. You know, this is one of the examples where we can go and do a little post production, kind of patch things together, and everything will sound just fine. You know, trust me. So, because we've had to on occasion deal with this sort of thing in the past, but yeah, it's not hooking up right now. But apocalyptimism, that's all I really wanted to talk about as we wrap up here. And it's taking a more positive approach to life and the world and our place in it. Why not?
I kicked off in 93 and started juggling and found myself with a van, said, well, I could juggle anywhere, and just started wandering the earth. And I just kept going and kept going and kept going. For a full decade, I traveled this country in a van with no job, no life, no nothing, just juggling. And everything kept working out for me. People, when I'd return back to wherever I lived at the time, would ask, you know, how do you do this? Where do you get the money? How do you keep going? Where does the gas come from? Where do you sleep? What do you eat? And it wasn't until people asked me those questions that I even considered them. All along the way, everything just was there. I lived this life of synchronicity that was only ever defined in the book The Celestine Prophecies by James Redfield. And when that book came out in 96, I was like throwing it at everyone, saying, look, this is what I'm doing. This is it right here. Finally, someone described it. I met James Redfield and I asked him about it. And he said, well, you know, I was simply studying the current ideas in psychology and wrote a book based on those thoughts and made it into a tale, you know, so that you would enjoy it more. And so I said, you know, I'm living that life you're describing. And he's like, I hear this often. But I had lived this life of synchronicity in
World and
such
our
a
place
way.
in it. Why
We
not?
live in a mechanized reality that has been manufactured as a simulation of existence. And so if something like Y2K and an entire meltdown came and shut everything down for us, I am certain, because of the existence that I've lived, that humanity would grow in such a beautiful way if we were to fall under this great apocalypse, or if you're looking at it as some sort of devastation and destruction. They're never going to allow that, because we would bond in such a way that they could never stop. And we would learn the true power of humanity in the synchronistic realms, the miraculous realms, and the angelic realms that bind all of us. And we would learn that there's a system that lives on its own. You know, nobody tells the bee how to make a honeycomb. It's the same for humans. But we've been controlled inside of the system for so long by Freemasons. You know, they created the government, they created the systems of reality, the bankings, the checking systems, and all of these things that control everything you do and keep you bound inside of this false realm. And so if we did actually have a moment where everyone was just let loose, it would not be chaos, anarchy. Nothing brings people together like a good catastrophe, and humanity shines as a golden beacon of light when we bond together on these miraculous realms. So that's my uh, apocalyptic hope.
That's great. So we've been derailed twice here, and we're back, and we'll do our best, I guess, with post production to patch together the audio and see what we can do. Maybe upload it in a full type, more complete and linear sort of fashion. But yeah, you know, the Rendlesham Forest, the binary code. I'm not sure if you've looked into that one or not, but to me, what that says is similar to what you're getting at, I suppose, in that we'll be fine as a species and as a planet.
We'd be better
Ultimately,
than fine. Yeah.
it's going to go a lot better than what maybe some people realize. Sure, there's a lot of suffering along the way, as we all struggle, but each of us just has to do our part, I suppose, with the resources and capabilities, the skill set we have at our disposal.
We are creators.
Sure, there you go. So, all right, Mr. Freeman Fly, we are going to cue up our outro here. But before we do that, of course, you've got a fair number of website contact URLs out there on social media and so forth, most of which we did add to the show description area. So that's where people want to look if they want to track you down and learn more about what you are all about. But just any upcoming events or maybe public presentations or appearances that you'd like people to know about?
No, Free Your Mind is not happening this year, so we're not going to pull that off. I am kind of enjoying the hermit life after such a long 25 years of on the road and exploring the world that at this point I am totally virtual. So freemantv.com is your one-stop shop, man, and go deep, go start at the beginning, start at the television show, the Freeman Perspective, and work your way through the early podcasts. You're going to have to scroll down 14 years, but you know, it really matters to start at the beginning, I think. But if you anything, go to the lecture section and just get all the highlights and just watch all the lectures. I've had, 12 years of lectures. I have 3 books. I have a CD, with my band Molecular. The 3 books, Weird Stuff. You need this. You need weird stuff sitting on your counter. People pick it up. It's designed to spark these conversations. It's written in a magazine format with all color pictures to attract everyone, because it's all popular culture. So freemantv.com, but don't miss the lectures, don't miss the books, the articles, and all the things that have been going on over these last 20 years that have been put together, and you'll get the full picture, I promise.
Excellent. We've got a special guest actually who's going to drop by right now. As a matter of fact, I think, we hear him coming through in the headset here. So, Captain Sinclair, are you there?
Hi, Taffy. I'll be standing by here on the main deck listening to the show. It's been a rather erratic at times, but overall, very happy to have you here, Freeman. And things worked out for the best, I suppose. It's really impressive you would drop by the Robin Hood and take a little time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the crew here aboard the ship.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun, and I don't stay up for just anyone, so thanks, you guys.
All right then, Freeman. I think that about does it. We're going to wind things down. All the best. We will be in touch. Once again, I'll send you a few show links or just miscellaneous tidbits here as they come to mind. But thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I can identify with the hermitine type attitude and approach. That's exactly what I've been trying to do here as well too. It's a New Year's resolution for me, saying I'm not going to put any more time, effort, or energy into this post-production nonsense. It's just too time-consuming. I can't deal with it anymore. We need to, what is the word, offshore or in-source, or just, we've got a few people out there who are interested, so we'll just have to make sure that all comes together, and I can, as with yourself, spend more time reflecting and studying, maybe reading a few more books, pursuing music or what have you. So, but thank you once again, Freeman. All the best and happy sailing.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right. So there goes Freeman Fly. What a talk. What a guy. Somebody that definitely people need to keep on their radar. Rich resources, of course, with respect to multitude of matters dealing with the esoteric and occult in our world, and of course wider society, all the way down through history. So we'll leave it at that for now, though, folks, friends, foes, and fellow pirate manies. Episode 134 of Pirate Radio Podcast. We'll be back again next week with Christina Taft out of California. She'll be able to share with us her latest regarding situation she is presently having to face and deal with out there in California, those wildfires that swept through various regions, proving to be quite devastating. So we're going to do what we can to come to her aid and continue to promote her cause and situation, challenging listeners to either meet or beat the pledge we've put forward, total of $100, her life reduced utterly to ashes. So hoping we'll see you again either then or later on, maybe Tuesday night during the upcoming World Pirate Radio News live stream. On that note, until we meet again, on behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here on the Robin Hood, I'm your host as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Tally-ho.
Aye now, there we be. Having carefully looked over each of our navigation panel instruments, checking every level, switch, dial, cable, knob, and pulley, by all accounts and indications, we indeed see it's time once again to drop anchor inside Mystic Bay. Draw an end to yet another week, World Pirate Radio Live. Remember, if you're looking for a little